Are you ready to take your business to the next level? Welcome to the Talking with the Experts Online Business Summit.
Hello and welcome to the May 2025 Talking with the Experts Online Business Summit, where innovative business owners and industry leaders come together to share insights and their strategies and some success stories. This online event is designed for entrepreneurs who are eager to learn, connect and grow their businesses. Whether you're a seasoned entrepreneur or just starting out, this summit offers a wealth of knowledge from experts across various industries. Gain actionable strategies, discover the latest business trends, and learn how to overcome challenges in today's dynamic marketplace. Now, my next guest is the lovely Mel Driver. Now, Mel and I have never actually met in person, so this is our first time. And I thank you so much for joining me here today, Mel. Mel's going to talk with us about how to avoid costly do-it-yourself website mistakes. And as I said in the intro this morning, I am really looking forward to what Mel has to share, because building a website on your own is very challenging, or can be very challenging if you don't know the right processes. So I'm looking forward to this heaps. Now, Mel, she's nicknamed lovingly the Queen of E-com by her clients, and Mel is a Shopify expert and founder of a multi-award-winning skincare brand. With over a decade of hands-on e-commerce experience, she has mastered the art of creating high-converting Shopify websites that combine aesthetic appeal and functionality. Mel specialises in guiding business owners through the complexities of building a professional online presence, helping them avoid common mistakes that hinder growth. Her expertise extends beyond website design to include e-commerce strategy, operations and marketing, making her a trusted partner for those looking to elevate their digital shop fronts. Having successfully supported clients in reaching seven-figure revenues in under 2 years, Mel is passionate about sharing her insights to empower others, whether helping businesses streamline processes or design user-friendly websites. Her approach is practical, results-driven and tailored to the unique needs of each client. And I do know that Mel is an award-winning skincare expert. She has won a lot of them. I've been following her on Facebook for quite some time now, and she's absolutely amazing. Mel, welcome to the summit.
Thanks so much, Rose. Thanks for having me.
Tell me, and I've got to say too that we don't live far from each other. We're only about 2.5 hours away from each other in the small state of Tasmania in Australia. So, we'll have to catch up one day soon. Tell me a little bit about why building well, we all know that websites are important. What are some of the common mistakes that people are making?
All right. I've prepared a little bit of a presentation, if you like, because I've got them all in a little bit of detail. Would you like me to share my screen?
Absolutely. Please do.
Cool. Okay. So the reason I talk about this is because I see so many mistakes time and time again when people DIYing their websites, and I completely get it. I mean, I run 2 businesses. I know how hard it is sometimes with the budget. Like, we can't afford to pay for everyone and outsource everything. So from that point of view, I completely get it. But unfortunately, I see the same mistakes made over and over again. And so I'm just sharing some key insights to help everyone build their own successful website. So even though I personally specialize in e-commerce, I'm also an e-commerce coach. Basically, the tips can be applied to any website. Really, I mean, you don't necessarily have to have an e-commerce functionality. It's basically service-based business owners can also benefit from the presentation. So, and many business owners assume that building a website is as simple as dragging and dropping some elements around, making it look pretty, adding some colors, adding some products and whatnot to the homepage. And I really understand the temptation. A lot of them also work their way through multiple YouTube tutorials, which are basically snippets on how to do a little something and a little something here and a little something there, but it doesn't really show the entire complexity of what is required, in particular on a homepage or on a product page or even a service description. And so from my personal experience and my professional experience, there are some things better left for experts. So if I'm being totally honest, there's like 3 things I always recommend staying away from DIYing. It's a website, product photography, and what was the third one? No, I completely lost my train of thought. We'll get back to that. So product photography, websites, and it was, again, lost it. I'll get back to that. I do apologize. And so mistake number 1 is overloading the homepage. So basically a common pitfall is just throwing everything onto the website, onto the homepage. And there is no user journey and no user experience taken into account. So this leads to overwhelm for visitors in particular. So whether it's showing every single product, using too many colors, adding excessive design elements and images, it just is very overwhelming to the visitor. And the only thing it actually does is they just want to do is close the browser and run for the hills. So my key tip here is to keep it clean and focused. Only highlight the main products or services that you're offering. Use clear calls to action and ensure the navigation is easy. You might also want to highlight some bestsellers, newest arrivals for e-commerce, or if you're service-based business owners and you offer multiple services, you might want to highlight your key offering on the home page. Next mistake, number 2, is ignoring the user experience. So what that means is you should follow a simple path to guide the website visitor through your pages. A lot of times it's like a zig and zag, and they're going up and down, and they're getting sent in different directions, and sometimes even nowhere. So I recommend to focus on clean, intuitive designs, and also ensure fast load times, which also improves the user experience to keep your visitors engaged. Then next mistake, number 3, is the lack of mobile optimization. Did you know that over 60% of all website traffic these days comes from mobile devices? If your website isn't optimized for mobile, you're potentially using a huge portion of your audience. And many DIY websites aren't mobile friendly, which leads to poor user experience on smartphones and tablets. So make sure your store is fully responsive when you're designing. I always recommend designing with mobile first in mind, and then checking that everything looks correctly on desktop as well. I very recently visited a website and they uploaded images and the text was cut off because it didn't quite fit onto the mobile. So you always want to upload a specific image for mobile only if you have the option on the theme that you're using or whatnot. If you don't, then definitely I would recommend changing the theme, because it needs to be mobile optimized, and you can't have text cut off on images. Just because it fits on desktop doesn't mean it will fit on mobile as well. And then mistake number 4, poor product descriptions. And again, that translates to poor service descriptions. Like sometimes when I'm looking around and looking for something, in particular service providers, actually, they're quite vague in what they're offering. And sometimes I'm wondering, what does that actually entail? So you want to make sure that you don't have uninspiring or overly generic descriptions that fail to communicate a unique value of the product or service that you're offering. Again, this can lead to customers feeling unconvinced and ultimately leaving without making a purchase. To avoid this, use clear, engaging language that speaks directly to your audience. Focus on the benefits answer some common questions, include sensory words to help the customer imagine using your product or engaging with your service. Consider using a formula, feature plus benefit plus emotional hook. Tell a story, paint a picture that captures not just the attention, but also targets your ideal customers' emotions so that they can actually feel and understand the outcome, the benefit of your product or service. Mistake number 5, neglecting the SEO basics. SEO is absolutely crucial for making your site visible to potential customers or clients. It's often overlooked in DIY projects. So without targeted keywords, meta description, and optimized content, your site might not appear in search results, missing out on valuable organic traffic. So make sure you do proper keyword research before you get started. Use relevant keywords on every single page. Optimize your meta descriptions, meta titles, and ensure all images have a proper title or file name, as well as an alt text to boost your SEO and attract more customers or clients. Next one is probably the one I hate the most, but I was one I see the most as well. It's amateurish design. A DIY website that looks inconsistent, and I'm trying to be very nice here, it's hard to put in the proper words, but looks like a dog's breakfast, can reflect poorly on your brand and your business. It's essential to maintain a clean and professional look to instill trust and encourage sales. A well-designed store reflects your brand's quality and helps turn visitors into loyal customers. So don't leave your first impression to chance. If you're not confident in your design skills, consider again hiring a professional or investing in a course to learn the essentials. Next mistake is vague calls to actions. Vague or missing calls to actions are common. Another common mistake, apologize. As call to actions are the signposts that guides users towards your designed or desired action, like making a purchase or signing up for a newsletter. If they're not clear, visitors may not know what to do next, resulting in lost sale opportunities. So basically, we need to tell people what we want them to do. So make your call to actions clear, specific, and action-orientated. Use phrases like add to cart, buy now, or sign up for free to ensure they stand out on the page. So grab it now is something that I would use more on social media in a caption rather than on the website. So that's just one of the examples that I wouldn't use on a website. And then last but not least, we have terrible product photography. Again, I completely understand that budget is super tight when we're first starting our businesses. And today or these days, everyone with an iPhone thinks they'll be able to take a photo. They might even sign up for a little course to learn how to take product photography or product photos with their phone. They seem to be using YouTube to find the best angles. They're ordering their own props and things like that. But let me tell you a story. My husband actually studied product photography. Not product photography. He's a photographer. And he has tried on multiple occasions to take photos for me. And on every single occasion, he has failed. So it's literally not something that I wouldn't outsource because good product photography is essential for attracting and converting customers. So if you're not confident in your photography skills, I highly recommend investing in a professional for photos because quality images build trust and enhance the perceived value of your products or brand, leading to more sales. And I literally cannot stress the importance of having quality photography because a quality photo conveys quality. It sets you apart from handmade businesses and DIY. And literally, there's nothing against handmade businesses. It's just the quality in the image reflects in the quality of the perceived quality of the products. And that's basically me. I'm opening the floor now for questions, if anyone has any questions for me.
Yeah, Mel, thank you so much for that. That's a really good basic start to, what the things that we should avoid doing. What are and the things that we should, I guess, be looking out for when we're doing it. SEO can be quite a bit challenging for people that are starting out when they don't know the basics of that. What are some things that we should be looking out for?
Yeah, so SEO, the most important part in understanding SEO is whilst it does translate into search engine optimization, but what really means is using keywords that our customers or potential clients would be using on Google to find us. So as an example with skincare, for example, someone, a woman in her 30s might be Googling, what skincare should I use in my 30s? And if I was to have a blog post on my own skincare's website that is titled, what skincare should I use in my 30s? And then I have information in there, informative information to answer the question. I might have, product recommendations of what someone should be using in her 30s. And then I might have a few other similar keywords on that same blog post. Or someone might be looking for cleanser. So they're not just going to Google and type the word in cleanser, because they're just going to get bombarded with thousands of different pages. So it needs to be a little bit more intentional. So for example, if I have sensitive skin, I might be looking for a cleanser for sensitive skin. So that's the keyword I would be putting into Google to hopefully find a cleanser for sensitive skin. Then I would have to use cleanser for sensitive skin also in a product description, in a meta title, in a meta description, and then I might have a keyword variation along the lines of gentle cleanser suitable for sensitive skin, along those lines. So we always, when it comes to SEO, we always need to keep our customers in mind and really think, what keyword would they type into Google to find our product or business?
Absolutely right. And, that's where a lot of us as website designers or builders or newbies or whatever make the mistake of not using the proper keywords to put in, as you say, in your meta description or in your articles, tags, and tags are really important too when building out a website. So you'll notice that in your blog posts, especially, there's a place where you can actually put tags for your blog. I'd advise to use them because that helps people search your website for that particular word that you've tagged, or helps with Google searches when people are looking for blog posts about a certain topic. And so, yeah, I can't stress enough about the importance of tags and SEO keywords. Mel, what are some other things like colours? What people often get hung up on colours and fonts, and they use like 3 or 4 different types of fonts on a page, and that becomes a bit messy, doesn't it?
It does. Well, ultimately, it goes back to your own brand guide. So I always recommend having a brand guide. At the bare minimum, you would select a couple of fonts. So you've got your header font and you've got your body font. And also I would always recommend to keeping it simple. Less is more in that regard. When it comes to logo design, again, that is my number 3 in not DIYing. So branding, product photography, and websites, because it's a lot more involved when it comes to branding and logo design. It's a lot of psychology behind it. It's not just about something that might look pretty or so. So again, that's something I wouldn't specifically DIY, but in terms of choosing colors, again, I had the pleasure of working with a brand strategist last year to refine my own skincare brand a little bit after I rebranded, and it's the colors nominated are literally ideal customer specific. So it all ties together. So it's branding is in itself with the pretty colors. It shouldn't be just singled out because like the whole strategy around it. So again, I do think in terms of website design and colors, I would keep it simple. It definitely needs to reflect the brand itself. And I don't mind to add a little bit of a pop of color, whatever color it might be. I mean, my own colors is a little bit more natural and beige and light brown on my website and product photography. So I don't mind highlighting certain elements with a little bit of background color. So it's not just plain Jane white throughout the entire website.
Yeah, it's pretty important, I think, having that little pop of colour to make something actually stand out. I'm more talking about service or pages rather than a product page. However, having said that, you don't mind the page being broken up a little bit with that little pop of colour so that your eye will not just get bored with what it's seeing.
Yeah, that's right. And it doesn't have to be like the entire page doesn't have to be colorful or anything like that. Although when done correctly, it can work really well as well. I've done a website for one of my clients last year and everything is like pastel green and pastel purple and it just comes together beautifully. But again, you need to know what you're doing.
Absolutely, and it has to suit your brand. It's got to be, if your logo is purple, don't make everything green or yellow or orange because it's not conducive to what your logo colours are or your brand in particular.
Yeah, exactly.
What are some other practical solutions? How can we other than hiring a professional to do our websites, because a lot of us, as you say, can't afford to hire someone straight away. What are some easy ways that we can make our websites more appealing?
Make sure it's got a structure, in particular on the homepage. You want to take users on a bit of a journey. You don't want to send them zigzagging around because ultimately that leaves them wanting to click the X button and exit. You want to be able to tell a story, draw them in with words, be very emotional and focus more on the benefits rather than the features, and that is applicable for both service and product-based businesses. It's probably a little bit easier in that regard if you have a product-based business and you want to convey in words how you want them to feel when they're using products. But then again, fashion is another thing, like how you want them to feel when they're wearing the clothing, if you're selling clothing and things like that. But then again, if you're a service provider, you still want them to feel confident knowing that they have found the right person to work with.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think, and you've got to take your prospective client or customer on an emotional journey through your page. So the words that you use have to convey some sort of or give some sort of emotional value, because they want to feel that what you're offering them is going to benefit and give them value along their journey.
Yeah, ideally you want them to feel like, oh my God, this person completely gets me. And if you can get someone to feel extremely relieved after reading through your own website copy, then you have absolutely succeeded. And I have come across a few of those websites in the past, but not many. It's a particular kind of writing that just really makes you, my goodness, this person understands me completely. I want to work with that person, or I need that product,
Absolutely. And what about the use of AI, Mel? What are your thoughts on that and creating a website through AI?
Well, I wouldn't specifically recommend using an AI to build a website because Shopify isn't there yet. You can definitely use AI to have your copy written that's definitely something I recommend. I mean, AI, like I use it every day. I use ChatGPT and ask it for recipes. So I just say, I've got these ingredients in the fridge or in the pantry. Can you come up with a recipe for me? And so far, it's always tasted delicious. So literally, AI is the new future, and it only gets better from here. I definitely think being an adapter, using it to help make life easier, but I don't think the capability is there yet to build a full-on Shopify website, to be quite honest, because I always recommend, if, for example, if you do go with a Shopify website, always recommend just using a theme that is available within the Shopify theme store, because it is approved, it is tested, and there's just no AI functionality there at the moment to build a full-on website that is approved by Shopify.
Yeah, no, that's great points there, and you make sure that you're using approved themes, because when building my website, I've tried a few that were just a bit outside the norm, and then I found that the updates weren't great, or the site crashed, and if you lose your site, then you've lost all that work that you've put into it.
Yeah. Exactly. And in most cases, I see people, they're hiring someone, finding a theme on Envato Marketplace, for example. They have the theme installed and there may not be any updates available, or there's functionality issues. And in the end, it's costing them double because they have to get someone else to do a new website from scratch. So yeah, don't go looking anywhere else. And the same with Squarespace, slightly branching into offering Squarespace websites as well for service-based business owners. And it's the same there. I wouldn't go looking for a different theme on any other website if it's unless it's on Squarespace.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. And if you want to reach out to Mel and find out more about how she can help you, go to Mel Driver Co. on Facebook. meldriver.co is her website. I'm sure she's got a lot of resources on there. Mel, tell me a little bit about your skincare products. I'm quite keen for you to share the most recent award that you've won.
Oh, yes. So it's actually by now a 45 award-winning skincare brand. And might I add, it's Tasmania's first and only skincare brand that has won so many awards. It's 100% natural, cruelty-free and vegan. It's targeted at busy women because we just don't have time for lengthy or complicated skincare routines and just want and need something simple. So we're out the door very quickly. And so the latest awards was for the invigorating body scrub, the luxurious face cream, and the uplifting cleanser in the Vegan Choice Awards.
Well done. Congratulations.
Thank you, Royce.
Mel, it's been a pleasure to meet you. Thank you so much for sharing your insights on how we can build better websites when we're doing it ourselves. I look forward to seeing you on the webs in the future.
Yeah, thanks again for having me, Royce.
Bye-bye for now.
Thank you for joining us at the Talking with the Experts Online Business Summit with your host, Rose Davidson. We hope you found the insights and strategies shared by our esteemed presenter valuable. Remember, your journey to success doesn't end here. Keep applying what you've learned, stay connected with our community, and continue to push the boundaries of your business. Until next time, keep thriving and striving for excellence. Goodbye, and see you at our next summit.